Hey folks, Dolph and Dale here. Got a calico bugging me, so I thought I'd get her on camera. Oh, looky there. You've gotten to be such a big girl, Aretha. You don't look too happy right there. You don't want to shoot this contest video with me? Okay, how about I let you get down and you play? Just don't play with my tripod. All right. So, yeah, last minute contest entry. What's new for this channel? But to be fair, I only heard about this channel yesterday, and the channel is Aaron Mutha Alamare, and he has a great channel. Shows a lot of heavy metal. Probably ought to give a shout out to Jeff McCormick, who I was watching his channel and his entry. That's how I discovered Aaron. So been watching some of his videos. Really enjoyed the one about how he got his channel name and the funny stories behind that. He has asked for 8 bands that had 3 or less studio albums. And one of those albums need to have been in either the 80s or the 90s. And all of these bands that I've got fall into that category. I almost misunderstood the question, and but I managed to get it right anyway. So we're under the gun. It's about 6:30 Sunday night. Trying to get this up by midnight. And so what's new? So we're going to kind of zip through this. So the first band I picked was Philadelphia, and they are a Christian metal band. They had 3 studio albums, and I have the second and third. This is the original cover of the second album, Search and Destroy, which came out in 85. And then, of course, was it last year or the year before they came out with the reissue? Looks like last year. Last year they came out with this reissue of Search and Destroy, which now has a color cover. That came out on Rocks. And then, of course, they put out a brand new album just a couple years ago called Warlord. And yeah, the pick was one of the pre-order. The pick right there was one of the pre-order benefits, I guess. But great band. And that's Philadelphia. So the second band I picked was Jet Circus. They are a Swedish band. They're the duo of Terry Haw and Ez Gomer. I hope I've pronounced their names right. Both of these gentlemen were in Bjorn Stigson's band Leviticus. So Jet Circus put this album out in 1990. And they put another one out about 15 years later, I believe. I do not have that one. But yeah, they only have the 2 studio albums. That's Jet Circus. Next up, Recon, Behind Enemy Lines. Another Christian metal band. This is the reissue that came out a couple years ago on Rocks Records. But this originally came out in 1990. Great heavy metal. Great heavy metal record that has been reissued. It was reissued a couple years ago and then just reissued again this year, maybe a couple months ago. No, actually, it's still I believe it's still in the pre-order stage. Or it just got released. I can't remember. I got the vinyl and the CD a couple years ago, so I'm not on the new pre-order. But great band, especially favorite song on here is Dreams. The next band is a band called Fighter. Now, this band is kind of an arena rock band, Christian arena rock band that think Heart only with only two, instead of two sisters, we've got a male and a female vocalist. Amy Walter being probably the better of the two vocalists. Great album. I saw this band open for White Cross, and then later when I was in college at the time, and then also booked them to play at the college that I was at. This is their debut, The Waiting. And they only had one other album, and it's Fighter, Bang the Drum. Both of these albums were just reissued, I believe, by Girder Music. Again, I already have them. I would love to have the new reissues, but you can't have everything. The next band is probably the most 90s band that you'll ever find in my collection. I am not a huge 90s guy, but they came out bright in the 90s. They kind of have that hard rock feel with the heavy emphasis on bass that you don't always find in other forms of metal. But I like this band, and I don't know why. Like I said, I'm usually allergic to 90s music, but this is Precious Death, and this album is called Southpaw. I like this album. This is their debut. I like this album probably. Well, I definitely like it better of the two that I have, and they only put out 3 albums. I don't have the middle album, but I do have the self-titled Precious Death, which was their third album. And good band. Band number 6, Dogs of Peace. And this is probably the least heavy of the bands that I'm going to show. I don't know if I'd qualify them quite as hard rock, though when they really get after it, they can get after it. But they would definitely fall more in the, they definitely have elements of pop in their music, but yeah, still a very good band. The two members that kind of drew me to this project when I heard about it was knowing that Gordon Kennedy, who played in Whiteheart, guitars for Whiteheart, was in this band, and also Jimmy Lee Sloas, who was the bass player and one of the lead vocalists for the Imperials at one point, led this band, and just great stuff. This was their first album, which came out in 1996. This one would come out 20 years later, and it's Heal by Dogs of Peace. And both excellent albums. This would have made probably my top 2 or 3 albums of 2016. This was such an exceptional album. This one is great as well. So I've got nothing but great things to say about Dogs of Peace. Next comes Ballydouse. This is their 1998 debut. They are a Celtic punk band. They would probably be right up Farley's alley, if you all know Farley from Farley's Nerd Cave. Yeah, great band. They get kind of heavy and out there a little bit at times, but mainly a Celtic punk band. And this is their debut, The Land, the Bread, and the People. And I also have their second album, Out of the Fertile Crescent. And these were the only 2 albums that Ballydouse ever put out. The final band is a side band by Doug Pinnick called Poundhound. And this is their debut. And the title of the album is Massive Grooves from the Electric Church of Psycho-Funkadelic Grungealism Rock Music. And I'll say that 5 times fast. But Doug Pinnick, of course, being the lead singer, bass player for King Zex. And this was their first album. And this is the second. Poundhound. Pineapple Skunk. Let's see the freaky little figurines in the back. So there you have it. There's 8 bands. Poundhound only had the 2 CDs, so there's 8 bands with 3 albums or less. Hopefully I showed something you haven't seen before, and want to give some support to Aaron, and hope that you go and check out his channel, because I will put a link in the description. And yeah, so we hope you're doing well. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one, folks.